Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. In this video, we're going to briefly be discussing a proposal that's come back to the forefront here recently. It was discussed in the past, but it's now come back to the forefront. It's the notion of e-tax invoicing. And for a quick overview, what we're talking about here, in another video we discussed tax invoicing rather at length. Tax invoicing, especially the formalities associated with proper tax invoicing in Thailand, it's important, especially from a VAT standpoint, as proper tax invoicing can lead to mitigation of one's monthly VAT payments or yearly VAT payments if you look at it in the aggregate. It's been recently discussed, and it's discussed at length in another video that was just put on this channel, well, basically along with this video, that the Thai government has recently been suggesting that the VAT in Thailand be raised. Now, that proposal has now been sort of brought to the forefront of within the Thai media. It's come up now twice within about the past 3 months at the time of this filming, and it's not been undertaken in either case. In fact, it's been rather summarily dismissed as an idea for revenue generation. But that being said, the one thing that did come up in recent discussions, most notably recent comments from the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Commerce, or Ministry of Finance, I should say, is e-tax invoicing may be a way to better facilitate revenue collection by the Thai government, by the government here in Thailand. And this e-tax invoicing structure has been discussed. It was discussed on the Revenue Department website back about 3 or 4 years ago. And when it came up, essentially, the idea is this. Right now, the tax system in Thailand is almost entirely paperless. As of 2016, they have instituted an e-filing system for things like audited financial statements. But as far as like monthly invoices which are submitted as supporting documentation in furtherance of providing proof of VAT mitigation, this is all done on paper, and it's still done on paper. In my opinion, I see it being done on paper at least into the foreseeable couple of years. But that being said, there's been discussions that various types of businesses or types of entities can issue electronic invoices. Now, this hasn't been implemented yet, but it has been discussed again, sort of in connection with this proposed VAT increase. And it's interesting to bring it back to the forefront, again, to quote a translation of the Revenue Department here, the Thai Revenue Department, rd.go.th's website. VAT registrants submitting an application for approval of the Director, those who want to do e-filing, e-tax invoicing, have to go ahead and submit an application for approval to the Director General of the Revenue Department. They have to meet certain criteria. They have to be either a limited or a public limited company. They have to have paid up capital of at least 10 million baht or more. They can be a government agency as well. They need to at least show some history of doing business. That remains to be seen exactly what that means and how enforcement of that would be implemented. And they need to have some sort of internal control mechanism with respect to, it appears, their accounting undertaking. So it's been proposed to do this. It doesn't exist yet. I think it will exist at some point in the fairly near future. I think e-tax invoicing will definitely come about in at least sort of part and parcel, probably with a VAT increase. But for now, as mentioned in the previous video, VAT does not look like it's going to be increased anytime soon. And as of now, there has not been implementation of the e-tax invoice plan. So it doesn't exist yet, and it will probably exist, I suspect, sometime in the next 3 to 5 years. We're going to see some kind of program implemented to deal with e-tax invoicing, most notably because it makes things easier, it's more efficient, and anytime governments can increase efficiency and revenue generation, they're going to do it. So I think it's fairly logical to infer we're going to see that fairly soon. But as noted, this is not probably going to be immediately available to smaller enterprises, as again it was noted that it's got to be companies with at least 10 million bought and registered capital or more, at least to begin with. I suspect eventually this is going to be possible across the board, but for at least the foreseeable future, it looks like e-tax invoicing is not going to be immediately available, but in the future it will be available. And although it will only be available to rather large, sort of medium-sized and larger enterprises.